All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to what I believe is the 14th session of the Curse of the Abyssal Brands. Um, and I feel like I usually say more. My brain is blank at the moment, so I'll just pass it off to people for introductions.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Once again, this is Gunner. Once again, we'll see who I'm playing depending on what happens.
Hmm.
Hey everyone, it's Cat5 Gaming, aka Katreya. Once again playing Kona, the Null Thaumaturge.
Hey, it's Cryos. I'm playing Lizardfoot Gunslinger as per usual. And you may fire when ready.
Hmm. And I'm Serene, person doing all the game mastering, and all of the stuff for bringing this campaign to Pathfinder and whatnot. Let's see. I believe last session, you all arrived in Kasan.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you've all kind of traversed around the city and interacted with different people. One of those, especially was Zied, who said he was a merchant who got attacked by bandits and had a bunch of his stuff stolen, including but not limited to a magic ring that he believed to be a genie ring. Now, I know that some of you were spending a few days working on things. And so before I went and did, a change to the date, I wanted to ensure, if we were jumping forward, if there was anything people wanted to do before we jumped forward, etc., etc.
There is one thing I wouldn't mind doing while everyone else is doing their thing.
Okay.
Doing a few odds and ends for some extra coin.
Okay. We can.
I forget, which do I need to roll again? Initiative.
I know
I forget.
there's a thing.
There's a thing somewhere.
Yeah.
But where?
I mean, I guess it would depend. Are you just looking at going around and helping people out? Are you looking at crafting things to sell? Or, in what way are you looking to make money?
Well, I don't have any permission to sell anything that the party has.
Right.
So I guess just odds and ends.
Odds
so just
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if if you're just kind of going around seeing what you can do in the way of working and helping people out and whatnot, I. Hmm?
I was just gonna say, Skrarkon is gonna go around and try, gathering information.
Okay. Let's see.
Trying to gather information about, the weirdness of the woods recently. And if
Right.
anyone knows a source of it.
Makes sense. Well, why don't we have a couple of, I think just like society checks would be fine. Um,
Um,
Cal with the 20, Scarcron with the 26.
Cal rolled a 19 on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only have a +1 though, so
That's
I
at least I
rolled
rolled high.
10 or an 11.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference between trained and untrained, so
Mm-hmm.
the being trained in a skill really does make a difference in this game. It's not like, D&D where your character with a -1 can be more intelligent in magic than your wizard with a +5,
Yeah.
So, it's one of the things I like about Pathfinder. So, just the use of like there actually being a gap between trained skills and untrained skills. So
Yeah.
Let's see. So first, one of the things that I will sort of draw some attention to, if you will.
As long as I don't choke on my drink.
Is
Yeah, it's actually why I'm muted. I just got food and I don't want to have the sound of opening wrap paper blaring in the mic.
right. I understand that. So one of the things I will draw some attention to is I did change the overall time of the campaign that we're doing. Originally, I had just taken the date from the Pool of Radiance campaign, which is 1340 DR. And then basically just kind of converted it into where we currently were. But I didn't really like that because it put you, 1,340 some years into the Age of the Gods. And unfortunately, the Age of the Gods is one in which a lot changes very quickly throughout the years. Over 1,000 years of time would have been a very drastic change in the world. So I knocked about 1,000 years off of the calendar. So we're in the year 342 instead of 1,342. As far as what's currently gone on, no history has changed for your characters or anything. It's just how far ahead in time we are just didn't feel right. So the age, again, the Age of the Gods it's a time period where the gods rule and war against each other very heavily. And due to that, there is a lot of, like, this god is alive, and then this god is dead, and that, And so there's a lot of pretty rapid changes in, pantheons and things like that. And 1,000 years, is a lot to begin with, let alone, 1,300 years. So, just to kind of help it feel more, to ground the campaign more in a proper time period. I lowered the years a bit. But I have also advanced just now the days, because I know that Scarcon was doing some crafting and such as well that took like 4 days.
Yeah.
So I have advanced us those few days. So some things that you would have picked up over the course of these days, just in general, without even like really working. You would have definitely heard more about the bandits. The bandits are a notorious group of brigands that have been very active of late. Rumor suggests that a new leader came about a year or so ago. And
gather information's diplomacy, by the way.
Oh, it is? Okay. That it is. I'm looking at that right now, and I see that.
And I'm master in diplomacy.
Okay. Cool. I mean, if you want to roll something,
It's still
yeah.
it's still the same modifier because my charisma's low.
Okay. Got it. I see.
Well, it's one more. It's one more than
Right. So
My
you would
society.
have gotten a 26 instead of a 25.
Yep.
So.
Ooh, these rolls are just awful.
I think me and Don should swap our our proficiencies here. I need society because that's intelligence, and you need diplomacy because that's charisma.
Actually, his main one is intimidation.
Right. Let's see. So yes. So the brigands, again, they seem to have sort of reformed in the last year. Rumors abound about there being some new leader. This leader is apparently based off of rumors. People suggest that the new leader is fairly ruthless. Is a very very strong. But is also really, really smart. A lot of the tactics that the bandits have displayed lately have been much more calculated, much more intelligent. You know, they used to just jump in, attack a caravan, and flee as fast as they could, you know, in the hopes of just getting kind of whatever they could. But lately they've been like targeting some of the caravans that have had like a lot of goods and like really expensive goods. They've been like really good at disabling the guards and you know things like that before even like getting into an actual like combat. And then they always seem to be really good at like knowing exactly what to take so that they can take like the best stuff before they have to, you know, flee. But this has been over the course of the last year. This is one of the reasons why people think that there must be new leadership, because these bandits have been around forever, basically, years, you know. It's only within the last year that they've become so calculated, so tactical, you know, so smart, you know, that sort of thing. Nobody knows, of course, because, you know, I mean, nobody's found the bandits, like, camp. There are some rumors that the bandit camp lies somewhere to the south in the woods, but nobody has ever found the place. So there are people who have gone looking for them, that they know the general direction of where they went, and then they never returned.
So they're organized and they're good, basically.
Yes. They're organized. The bandits are organized and they are good. So, so that's kind of the gist of what you get about the bandits. As far as the forest and the primal are concerned, that there are stories about the what has been happening in the forest, what has happened to the primal and things like that. But a lot of them are disconnected. Some people believe that there is some sort of void occult, you know, thing that has caused this, the change in the forest. There are stories that the primal didn't, the primal isn't so much infected as it is like, what's the term for it? Like taking on things so that it can purify. I know there's a term for that, but I can't think of what the wording is right now.
Assimilation?
Hmm?
Assimilation?
Come on, mouse. Why is it? But I need to. So somebody asked me a question. I need to look up something because I technically do have the answer to it. I just don't immediately remember it. But Sorry, I was figuring something out. Sorry, still kind of dealing with the thing
It's all good.
from a couple weeks ago there. Let's see. But yeah, so there are stories, there's rumored that the essentially like the primal is like taking on corruption and then like purifying it like in his body and releasing it back out, purified. And so it's not that like he's corrupted and now he's evil or something, but it's that there's the idea that he looks, corrupted, but he's not actually he's not actually like void, if that if that makes sense. I'm not sure that I'm wording that right. I should note that you get about as many people saying that as you get people saying like, oh yeah, the primal is like, has been corrupted by something and there's some horrible thing coming and yada yada. So it's not like this is what is going on, but that's, one of the things that you're hearing. As far as the forest itself, there's a lot of different stories about what the corruption is, where it comes from. Some people claim that the corruption itself is coming from the other city, the city of Atrophy, that's on the other side of the forest. Some people are claiming that it is not related to Atrophy, that there is some other, thing that is causing the corruption. Nobody has, I should note, nobody has gone to Atrophy to verify because there's enough stories about if you go into Atrophy, you don't come back out. So nobody has gone there. So, there's no guarantee that that's what's going on.
I mean, that's a heck of a name for a town. So.
It is, yeah, it's a heck of a name for a town. But there are a multitude of different stories about what is going on. Let's see. Since Skrarkon is like actively looking for information about it, and if I should note, if anybody else wants to also be actively looking for information about it, you can also roll a diplomacy to gather information. So
Yep. Unless you have the
And try that.
streetwise, I believe. The streetwise.
And tried that, but you see those rolls.
yeah, I mean it's 22, so it's not necessarily bad, but
I'd have Cal roll, but he's he's working.
right.
He's working for that coin.
He's been helping out with that coin.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I just figured I would point that out in case anybody else wanted to do some rolls.
Yeah.
But let's see. So, since Skrarkon and Leica are both being active about going about and trying to gather, well, I suppose Don too, but he did roll a little on the low side.
Right, a little.
I mean 19. I mean, sure, it's a 4 on the die, but it's still a 19, It's not like you rolled a 3 or something.
Where the fuck was my key?
But let's see. In your while you have been actively looking for information about things, Skrarkon,
Yes.
you don't know who has sent you this message. You only know that in the morning, as your group is preparing to go out for the day and do your individual things, you suddenly receive let me describe this properly. As you're getting ready, as everybody is leaving the inn in the morning, you happen to notice a small bird that is nearby. It flutters over to you and drops a small letter at your feet as it flutters past.
Skrarkon's gonna pick it up and, read it.
Okay. The letter informs you that you are invited to meet with the Enchantress if you are interested in learning more about the goings on of the forest. The letter states, do not look for the enchantress. If you do wish to meet with her, simply speak with the owner of the Magic Emporium.
Does
It
it
will-
say if I can bring anyone along?
I was actually just about to, cause I had just thought of that right as you asked. But yes, the letter does say that you may bring your allies with you. However, you are not allowed to bring any more than 3 other companions.
Would would 10 penny count towards one?
No.
Okay.
Your familiar would not count as a companion, so.
Okay.
And likewise, I don't think anybody else has eidolons or familiars, but
Nope.
other people's familiars also wouldn't count, so. I thought of Cassandra for a second, but then I remembered she's not in the group, but I had already started saying it. So, because, Cassandra had an eidolon, so.
What about our little friend in the crystal?
There's a pretty good chance that the spirit in the soul gem wouldn't count either. So
It's more of an item than a companion.
right. So, but yeah, basically, like I said, you have received an invite from someone to meet with the enchantress. You can bring 3 other companions, aka 4 people altogether.
Okay.
Poor people?
Um.
Not poor people.
Poor people.
Skarkon's gonna go out and gather everyone up and, present the letter
Sent the
to
letter.
people.
Okay.
So, you all can talk it out between you. I don't have any particular bias to who goes in. I have no idea what we're going to be walking into, but this is so far our only solid lead.
Well, when you say you have no idea what we're walking into, I'm already on board. I love surprises.
So that's one. Cal?
Sure. I don't have a problem with it.
Don? Micah? Who wants to go with me?
One is strong. One is a strong word. It's more so as I probably need to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, I'll come. Make sure you don't. Make sure you don't. None of you bull rush ahead to anything.
All right.
Let's see. So I assume that is Leica that's going then.
No, that's Don.
That was Don? Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Alrighty.
But then again, this is enchantress, which means magic. So
Well, any proficient enough magic user can shut down a magic user, any other magic user.
Mm-hmm.
So
and how many of us are actual magic users?
0, and that's why I
And
say.
that's why Leica.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to insinuate is the Enchantress is probably more powerful than us, and if anything fight-wise breaks out, which I doubt it will, but it's always good to be prepared for it.
I mean, Kona does carry a scroll of dispel, so at least there's that. She always has one ready.
Right. Hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
Hmm.
All right. How's that going? All right.
I mean, it really just is kind of up to, Gunner, whether it's Leica or Don. So.
And keep the bond group together.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So Cal, Kona, Don, and Skrarkon will go along.
Mm-hmm.
So, sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right. Then with that, I assume your group is heading to the Magic Emporium.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
Whee! Right. Come on. Foundry, move tokens, please.
No.
I was not wanting, I grabbed Don, but then it wouldn't let me move anybody else at first. So it did work eventually, clearly, but it just at first it was not wanting to cooperate. All right. You head to the main plaza of the city. There you find Kipon's Magic Emporium, which is pretty easy to spot. It is the only building in the plaza that has no sign, but instead of having, a sign or something that says, what it is, there's just a giant magical eye that just looks around the plaza constantly. As you near the structure, the building, the eye focuses on you, gazing deeply, unblinking.
Kona
Creepy.
closes one eye and stares back.
Skrarkon is going to walk inside.
All right. You walk up to the door. The eye watches as you reach down for the doorknob. And then as soon as your hand touches the handle, the entire door just dematerializes. Just leading in, just creating an open archway, basically. Inside of the Magic Emporium, You are greeted with what appears to be an unending hall. On both the left and right sides of the room, there are shelves upon shelves upon shelves that just seem to go on endlessly, full of wacky, wild, and possibly magical items, ranging from, magical weaponry to a strange rectangular metal box that appears to have a door that opens in the front. There are just to name a couple of other fun things. There is this strange-looking circular item that seems to kind of stand on like its own little stand. It seems to have these long, like little blades inside of it, that spin very rapidly, pushing air, forward.
Well, someone's really into presentation.
There's also this strange metal-looking object. It's long and thin, and then it, extends upwards a little bit on, 3 little, bars. 2 of the bars lead to these 2 long, cylindrical objects. Whereas, the third one in the front leads to this big, circular piece. Let's see. Draw freehand. It's kind of shaped like this in a way, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird things all around here. You find yourself distracted for a moment as you're kind of examining these things. And then you hear this very loud poof. And now in front of you, not stands, more sitting on a cloud, is a gnome. He gives you a smile and says, "Hiya, glad to meet you. What can I do for you?"
Hey, yeah, we're here to see the, Empress?
Enchantress.
Enchantress. Thank you.
He frowns slightly and says, "So why would you want to see that old windbag?"
I got a letter from her that said bring 3 friends, right?
Yes, so
Okay,
you are
he,
allowed to bring
points
up
at
to
the-
3 other companions.
He points at the 3. Yeah, 3 companions. I mean, I have the letter, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought this would have been a. Oh, You said the secret words. Come on in.
Right. Um, he he kind of shrugs and shakes his head and says, "Well, see, she always sends people here. It can be a little annoying sometimes. I won't. The word is just not there.
Lie.
Yes. Wow. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But yes, he says she always sends him here to begin with. I won't lie, it can be a little annoying sometimes, but she is that is how she is. She's a very private one, that enchantress. Keeps herself way off the books, if you will. Make sure that no one but people that she wants to see knows where she's at. Even when you know where she is, you still can't seem to find her half the time.
I see.
The gnome snaps his fingers and a scroll materializes in front of you. When you pick the scroll up and look it over, you notice that it seems to be a very crudely drawn map, of the city. The strange part is where normally there should be lines that tell you, like, go straight and then take a left and then take a right. Instead, there's just like a line that goes down and then it just kind of like stops. But then there's like another line somewhere else on the map, And so there's just like a bunch of lines that aren't connected in the slightest bit. The gnome says, all you gotta do is follow the map. You'll find her that way.
That sounds simple enough.
Is this don't tell me. Is this a teleporter situation?
I guess you could say it's something like that. She's very picky. Let's just say, even if you went directly to the end of the line, you wouldn't find her there. There's a series of extra-dimensional pathways.
I hate teleporting. Makes my ears itchy.
Too convoluted, too complicated.
Oh, if you're going to see the Enchantress, there is one other person that you'll want to make sure to bring along. I know she said you should only bring 3 companions, but just trust me on this. The other person should be showing up right about... Just as he goes to say that, you hear a very loud crack outside the magic shop. Ah, just in time.
I see.
When you glance out the door of the Magic Emporium, the yellow Saurus that you purchased a few days ago is waiting for you. You can see one of the guards standing nearby looking absolutely frantic.
So this
The Saurus, by the way, when it sees you as you peek your head out, it gives a loud grank.
Great. Okay. Well, I guess. Can you just point us to a spot to start at least?
So he does point you to a line that starts at the Magic Emporium. The particular line takes you off to the Adventurers Guild.
Of course, it's got to be something convoluted.
And what does the bird have anything to do with it? Like, what does it have to do with it? The Saurus.
I mean, the gnome would tell you that the Saurus is the other person that you should take along with you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but I figure it must be some magical bullshit.
Probably. Let's get going then.
Alrighty. When you step outside of the magic shop, the door rematerializes. The guard, who is looking frantic, steps up to your group and says, I don't suppose you're the owners of this particular Saurus?
Unfortunately.
It escaped from the pen just a few minutes ago. We have been chasing it around the city. If you wouldn't mind, we do have more important things to do than watch a wandering pet. He kind of thrusts the reins towards your group.
If you have more important things to do, if you have more important things to do, I would assume you're able to catch a little dinosaur.
You would think so. This one, however, has been uncannily slippery. The Saurus, by the way, looks at all of you with this great big grin and lets out a happy grank, grank, grank.
Oh, jeez.
This Hanna-Barbera nonsense.
Okay, so Kona holds up her hand. Raise your hand if you think it's weird that some random critter we bought from some random shady dude suddenly became important to fighting a sorceress that is completely unrelated to any of this shit.
Oh, raises a claw.
Honestly, it's just par for the course at this point.
Right.
Well, maybe the fucking dino over there is or was magically transformed into the dino form. Or maybe it's her dino. I don't know. Let's just get going.
What if the reason the dino is important to finding the sorceress is because it is the sorceress?
That would be funny.
Yeah, that was my first thought. It would be really funny.
Honestly, that might as well happen at this point.
That would be pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
It would be.
So yeah, I mean, once the guard hands over the reins to you, the guard goes back to his duties of patrol. So, and that leaves it all to all of you at this point, where you go. So, if, let's say, you were to look at the accurate map of Kasan that we have here, and if I were to add the lines in, the lines would look something akin to this. There we go. I have to kind of look around the map because they're all over, so. But that's what the lines look like on the map, so.
Gotcha.
That you were given. So they're as you can see, they are very completely disconnected. So. So yeah. I mean, Adventurers Guild, I suppose.
Adventurers Guild, we suppose.
Yeah.
We suppose.
We suppose.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Your group heads off then towards the Adventurers Guild. Whee! Whee! You arrive at the Adventurers Guild. It's a fairly large building with a large set of double doors. Directly in front of the Adventurers Guild, you can see a couple of different groups of adventurers, all looking as though they're, preparing to go on some adventure or returning from an adventure or things of that nature. What do you want to do? There's the words.
So to clarify, we followed the dinosaur to the Adventurers Guild.
Well, you didn't follow the dinosaur. The dinosaur is following you wherever you go.
Oh, okay.
I
I
guess.
guess.
It's just
Go
that
in.
the magic, the gnome, kind of pointed that was the first thing to do. So
I guess go in, ask around, see if anybody knows something.
Yeah.
Seems like the right approach.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You push open the double doors of the Adventurers Guild. Inside of the guild, the room is very decorated with, trophies, if you will. There's a lot of, taxidermied heads of different creatures along the walls. There's, weapons and things that have been adorned to the walls that have, plaques on them, that sort of stuff. It's a very decorated adventurers guild. To one side of the room, you can see the classic adventurers logbook that would normally be used for, people coming in, writing their name and saying, hey, I'm looking for these kinds of jobs. You can see a woman that is not too far to the... Excuse me, the logbook's on the right side. I think I said left. The logbook's on the right side. The woman is on the left side. She has dark skin and is dressed in tribal clothing. Think like African, like warrior tribe gear, if that makes sense. Not exactly sure. First off, the right words to use, but second off, I'm not entirely sure how to, describe what I'm trying to say. I can see it, but I'm not sure the best way to describe it, There's a lot of AI art, apparently, if you Google African warrior.
I should be looking up tribal.
Probably. Tribal warrior.
I guess in this case, just freaking Sadu.
Yeah, I thought I'd try to find something, but I am really...
Amazonian.
And I suppose it makes sense that what I'm finding is a lot of pictures of men in tribal gear.
Well, you didn't specify female.
Yeah. So, I'm not particularly finding a lot of, women. I'm also not entirely sure if what I'm looking at is, African or if it's more Native American. I'm pretty sure most of these are Native American, which is not what I'm looking for. So, I'm
Are you thinking more like Pictish or Celtic?
I think this is technically AI art, so I won't show it on the stream because I But it's something kind of like what I just posted. Again, I think what I posted was AI art, so I'm not going to show that on the stream, especially since some of these are not the safest for a stream to begin with. Some of these pictures on that are, you know,
Ooh,
I
my.
suspect it probably is because of the misplacement of some things.
oh yeah. Well,
So-
I mean the website itself is open art, which is as far as openart.ai, right? So
Oh, yeah.
you're pretty sure that that's all AI art. Like I said, some of that's not exactly the safest for a stream, so I'm not going to show. But also, again, it's AI art, and I don't support AI art in the slightest. Unfortunately, it was the only thing that I could really find. So I will not show it to the stream, but I will still I still will show it to the group here, just because it's about the only thing I can find. So, but yeah, so to the left there is this woman dressed in tribal gear, if you will. You can see on the floor nearby is a small child. Can't be more than, I'd say, a few months old. That is just happily playing with a couple of toys there on the floor. It wouldn't be hard for you to guess that they're probably related. Beyond just the fact they have the same skin color. The child is dressed in a very, tribal outfit for, as young as he is. Next to the woman on here, I will, let me art. This is the woman. Baby is here. Bob. So on her right side, and then on her left side, this is why I don't do art. On her left side, which would be your right side, there is a what can only be described as half human, half lion. A lion tar, if you will. The lower half of the body is entirely lion. Upper chest and arms are human shaped but covered in fur. Face is like a lion, has the lion snout, mane, fur, all of that. And he's kind of sitting, on, one, kind of sitting off to one side, just kind of watching. When you enter The woman is the first to speak up and says, "Welcome. This is the Adventurers Guild. I am its guild master. I need a name, and I just realized that I don't have a name for her. Let me grab a name for her right fast. Her name will be Moi Mini, because it means honest, apparently. And one sec as I ban a bot in the chat. There we go. Moi Mini. So yeah, she says, welcome to the Adventurers Guild. My name is Moi Mini. How can I be of service to you today?
Oh, I take it you're the so-called enchantress.
She replies and says, I am not the enchantress, no. But if she has sent you to find her, then I know of how to send you along to her.
Okay, I guess that's a start. What do you got?
She turns to the lion tar that is sitting next to her. She simply turns to him and, gives a wave to him. The lion tar looks up to all of you and says, my name is Aheru. I am the Aheru the lion tar. He says, my name is Aheru. I can help send you on your way to the enchantress. I believe that you must have a map of some sort given to you by the magic shop owner.
Indeed we do.
Very good. In that case, I would ask you to step into the center of the room here.
Cal will, looking slightly disgruntled, having to do a scavenger hunt for for the person in need is kind of annoying
Hmm.
to him.
Right. I can understand
We'll
that.
step into the middle of the room and cover her ears.
All right, let's get this done. He sit and down steps into the room.
Okay. Once you're all standing in the middle of the room, Aheru will say, you will want to keep your eyes on the map. For once you arrive at your next location, you will have only it to go on for where to go next. He stands up onto all fours, walks over to your group, pulls a piece of chalk out of a satchel that he has kind of strapped onto his chest. And then he draws a circle around your group and then begins to chant some sort of incantation. Could not remember the word for some reason. You all watch as there's a bright flash of light, and when your senses return to you, you find yourself in space? Question mark? As you look around, there are stars in every direction around you. The only physical thing that is here is a long silver pathway that just stretches on as far as your eye can see.
Interesting.
I will note, though you are in what appears to be space, you are grounded. There is gravity pulling you towards the floor, the bridge. You're not free floating
And I
in
assume
space.
there's air.
Yes, there is air as
There's
well.
oxygen.
Yes, there does appear to be oxygen. So
We're not dying yet.
You're not dying. There doesn't appear to be a way back either. When you turn around, you see that the bridge just ends behind you. Like there's nothing behind you. So.
Well, I guess we don't have much of a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Cal will start to move forward.
Alrighty.
Ona will start to follow Cal. And frowning will start scratching her right ear.
Alright.
Down would follow, just taking in the surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Well, would any of you like to roll perception checks?
Sure.
Scarcon's gonna follow.
Okay. Whoops. Don't move the thing. Don't move the lines. I'm trying to just delete the drawings. Alrighty. Perception check. Nice. Let's see. Looking outward, you see what appears to just be infinite space, as far as the eye can see. Stars all around. The silver, this strange silver bridge. You do notice as you're walking that each of your, the bridge, like, think of how there's, like, planks, right, on, like, a normal wooden bridge. That there's, like, just, like, strips of silver, just, like, kind of forming this, like, straight path. And on each of these individual strips, there are some arcane runes. You walk for several minutes. You're not sure how long. But you eventually find yourself coming to a door.
You know what I'm impressed by? How something could be so incredibly overtly magical and also so obnoxiously pointless.
Right? It's so true, though. I will note
Kona looks at the door. She's about ready to kick in the door. She hates this.
She hates this.
She thinks this is all just a bunch of stupid bullshit.
Right. And I'll note it's not, the door's not connected to anything. There's a door frame and then there's a door. There's no wall, nothing like that. It's just a door in a door frame just sitting there. Just in the middle of the path, blocking your way forward.
Does anyone want me to kick down the door?
No.
I can shoot the door.
No.
Let's kick it down together.
No.
Yes. On 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the police.
I mean,
Stop resisting.
If you want, both of your characters can make, what is it, athletics, whichever the strength base is.
Yeah, skill, athletics, yeah.
Yep. Make some athletic checks on the door.
I'm just gonna walk up and knock.
32.
Okay. Ooh, 32. Nice. And a 28.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
The door dies.
Let's see.
The
Kona
door was the enchantress the whole time. We ruined the quest.
So
Knock,
Kona
knock, open
and
up the
Cal.
door, it's real. Boom.
Have the word Don just Don oversee right before they kick.
Let's see. So, I mean, the rules have been made. Is this? It is. Let's see. So, is Don actually wanting to hold them back?
It's more so we don't know what we're dealing with. They're choosing violence.
Right.
Because we're done. We're sick of this shit.
Yes, you are very dumb.
Who's the one with the giant weapon? You just have a pointy
Okay.
stick.
Okay, but look at where we are right now.
I will punt you over the edge.
I mean, it is.
There ain't
up...
no rainbow roading. There ain't no rainbow roading this shit.
It is up to all of you how you're handling this. So
Kona and I have rolled, so
right, and
Yeah,
I
they
do
have
have.
roads, so they do have priority.
I do have something prepared. You know, if that
it's a
is
cake.
the path.
This is a game. The fuck around, find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that is
Indeed.
just going to take several steps back then,
Alrighty.
and get from directly behind them.
Kona and Cal throw their weight into the doorway. The door opens without any trouble. The door goes flying open. And Kona and Cal both kind of tumble through the doorway. Despite the fact that it is a door frame and a door, and therefore there should be absolutely no way that there is something beyond this, beyond the Silver Bridge. The two of them tumble through the door and now find themselves in a completely different section of the city.
Oh. Oh.
Down here, in fact.
Huh. Okay then. Looks like we're right close to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we just keep following the line.
Hmm.
I guess so.
So,
Go ahead.
what does Skrark and Dawn see?
When you look through the doorway, it's like looking through a portal. You look forward and you just immediately see as if the door just opens up into, the city. So.
Oh, that was entirely pointless.
Yeah, it's just best if you let them wear themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
So treat them like children then.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Saurus claps its hands, claws, whatever, and happily goes, "Crank, crank, crank."
I'm not sure that this dino isn't a polymorphed person.
I'm assuming Don and Skrarkan are following through the doorway here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Seeing the way forward, your group passes through the doorway. You're in a small little. I don't know what the word for it would be, but like a circle of buildings. You can see that the path, goes forward and curves both to the left and to the right. According to your map, you're meant to turn to the right, the easternly path. Though there doesn't appear to be anything down either way when you look around.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that tunnel we passed through was literally just a enchanted sewer.
And then a normal one.
Starkon's gonna start looking around to find clues.
Find clues. If you could roll me a perception, that would be great. Anybody can, by the way. I imagine everybody would be wanting to, look around in some way. 25 and 24.
Actually, Kona's gonna detect magic and see if anything pings.
Now that's
Good idea.
a good idea. Let's see. Kona, you throw up your detect magic, and you immediately detect a circle of teleportation, I guess, if you will. That's just a little bit down the eastern path. Your detect magic seems almost to trigger the circle, because you sense it, and then there's a bright flash of light.
Oh, hey, there's a teleport circle right over. Never mind.
There's a bright flash of light, and you find yourself now walking through this very decorative, fancy silver hallway. Behind you is a wall. In front of you, across the hall, there is this large, magical doorway. On both the left and the right sides of you, going from where you're at all the way down to the end of the hall, are a line of portraits on both sides. Before you can react too much, one of the portraits, a woman with long black hair, suddenly speaks up and says, "You there? You seek the enchantress, do you not?"
Oh, I'm sorry. What gave it away?
You would not have been able to simply find this hall unless you had been pointed in its direction.
Fair enough. And are you the enchantress or just another one of her associates?
That is not something you need to worry yourself about immediately. Instead, what is perhaps the most important thing for you to concern yourself with is where you are. This space that you see around you is a hall that leads to many powerful wizards. If you were to simply walk down the path and through the door, there is no telling where you would end up. if you seek the Enchantress, then you will have to what's the what's the correct term for it?
Beseech.
Yes, I think. In order to arrive at the Enchantress, you will have to beseech her and get her to open the door for you.
I see.
The portrait of a older wizard. But by the length of his beard, you would guess he's probably in his late years. 80s, 90s, possibly older via magical means. He's dressed in a purple wizard robe with a purple wizard hat. And he speaks up and says, Now, I am sure that they would like to meet with the Enchantress. You there, adventurers, come here, please, if you would.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that's more like it, at least.
You step up to the portrait, getting a good look at the wizard. On his shoulder is a rat that also happens to be wearing a purple wizard cap. The rat is the one that speaks up and says, I don't know about these ones. You sure that they should be going to the Enchantress? I mean, it's the Enchantress after all.
Look, I'm sorry that we got called upon by this Enchantress who can't be, seen in public or whatever.
Yeah, she sent us a letter. We didn't come looking for her. She recruited us.
I say this is downright rude of her.
Yeah, kind of a dick move on her part.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, she can get off her pretentious ass, get down to this hallway, and fucking talk to us in person.
Yeah, if everything's so important, why is she having us do this cat and mouse bullshit?
The wizard actually chuckles at everything that you're saying, so he finds this amusing. Was Don gonna say something?
Nah, he just clear destroyed the cat and mouse game.
Ah, okay. The wizard says, now you see, it's just as I keep telling her. She really shouldn't put people through all of this mess. Tell you what, I can take you directly to her. Make things a little bit easier on all of you.
Thank you.
What's the catch?
He says, the catch, as you have put it, is a little game. If you
for fuck's
win
sake.
my
Oh,
game,
no.
In the tail on the asshole.
if you win my game, I'll take you directly to the Enchantress, and you can skip all of this extra hoobaloo that she always puts everyone through. Of course, if you lose, well, things might not go the best for you.
We could always feed you to our pet dinosaur.
The Saurus, by the way, when you say that, speaks up with a very, excited crack.
See, even it wants to eat you.
Crack, 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 crack.
I'm starting to really like the dinosaur.
Yeah, this little guy's cute.
The wizard responds and says, well, it is up to you after all. Do you wish to play my game? Or do you wish to attempt
Play the Enchantress's games.
the
Gosh, that's such a good. That's. Wow, what
Yes.
a deal. Trade one crazy magic fuck for another. You know what? Color me interested. I'm in.
First of all, you tell him. Secondly, what the fuck? Why not?
Since our time is such a fucking game to you.
You freaking morons.
The portrait.
You're the one who chose to live with us.
The portrait shakes a little, and then it falls forward, slamming into the ground in front of you. You hear the wizard shout out, "Ats! My nose! Why do I always do that?" On the other side of the portrait is a large black room. And you hear the wizard say, "Don't worry, just step on me. It's perfectly fine. Just go into the room. I'll explain everything after."
Since the room is dark, Kona's gonna light up her lantern.
Okay?
Scargon's gonna take his time walking over the portrait.
Walking over the portrait. As each of you steps over the portrait, you can hear mild pangs of, the wizard grunting is as if you're physically walking on his back. So.
When that actually happens, Kona stops and starts river dancing for a moment.
Nice. Very nice.
Cal doesn't really, he wears shoes, but his claws are, unobstructed
Nah.
on his feet.
Right.
So this guy's getting poked.
These guys get, well, you
He
also
wears
have
sandals.
You also have the Saurus.
Not sandals, more like armored toeless boots.
Armored toes, boots, yeah. You also have the Saurus, who, also has clawed feet, so claws. He does, of course, especially give out pangs of, pain as the claws go across his back.
Okay,
You hear the rat speak up and say, "You could always just disconnect yourself from the portrait when they walk by, You don't have to let them walk on you."
It's more funny this way. Yeah, don't tell him that.
The portrait raises up shutting the path outward. In front of you, in this room that is actually like physically black. Even with Kona's lantern, it's not that it's dark. It's just that like the room, like the walls are literally black.
Vanta black.
So yeah, basically, it. Despite Kona lighting the area up, it still doesn't feel any brighter because all of the light is just kind of like sucked into the walls. So
A starless sky.
Oh, guys, hey, look, it's a matte painting. Kona looks very proud of her pun.
Good one.
Very nice, very nice. You hear the wizard speak up and say, "The game is easy. All you have to do is put the bell on the stand and then make it ring." In front of you, you can see a long pole that just sort of materializes itself. Next to that pole is a large, like 20 foot tall by 20 foot wide, round, entirely metallic metal bell. I'm talking like Liberty Bell, kind of massive, if not bigger. I'm not actually sure how big the Liberty Bell is, but it's a massive
Liberty
bell.
Bell's only
Giant
like
bell, small table.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a shrinking scroll.
She actually starts looking through her bag like, She starts pulling scrolls out of it and tossing them around the floor like, no.
I'll wait. Y'all choice that got us into this.
She then gathers them up and puts them all back in her bag.
that's unfortunate.
Let's see.
Well, what were the exact parameters?
Oops. That is... Sorry, hang on. I have that wrong. So, the idea is you have this pole here, and then you have this giant metal bell, and the goal is that you have to take the bell, put it on the pole, and then ring it.
Okay.
The main problem is the bell is absolutely massive. So.
Well, we've only seen it. I wonder... Skarkon's gonna go over and try and pick it up, see if it's lighter than it looks.
Alrighty. Let me grab you all and bring you over here, since this is where the image that I've drawn is. So, and it will hopefully help you out a little in figuring the puzzle itself out.
Hold on. And Skarkon's gonna go over to the pole and try and pick it up.
Over to the pole and pick it up. The pole is securely fastened to the ground. So.
Okay.
Okay. Do you still want to try picking up the bell?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So we were supposed to get it on the table and make it ring, right?
Well, you're supposed to put it on the pole and make it
Put
ring.
it on the
you know?
pole and make it ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put it on the pole and then you make it ring. So, Skirkon walks over to it, grabs hold of the bell, and attempts to lift it. It is very heavy. It would definitely take more than one of you to lift it.
All right, well, let's all lift this together. We'll give this a first try. See if there's a trick to this.
All right.
I wonder if we can't put it over top the pole and ring it like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We just kind of put it over the pole and like let the center part hang.
Right.
Then it should be able to ring.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
No, I'm sure there's probably some bullshit trick to this.
Probably.
Well, if you could all roll athletics checks to lift. The question is do any of your characters even lift, bro?
Don does not.
Cal definitely
does.
Cal and Coda.
Skrycon. Yeah, Skrycon definitely doesn't.
Yeah, Connor, like, yeah, let's do this.
Oh, would you look at that? Don does lift a bit.
Cal and
Lift
Kona
with your legs, people.
32
With
and
your
29.
legs.
Don with a 21 and Skrycon with a 17. The
Skirkon is not a strength character.
Not as straight. Yeah. I mean, oh, no, wait. Sorry. I was
strong
going
and
to say
healing.
something, but I was looking at Don as I was going to say it. I was going to say you had an 11, but no, you have a 0. You have +1. So, it's Don that had the +10, and then Cal and Kona with the 17 and 16, so.
Yep.
That said, with the combined might of all four of you, all the four of you are able to, bend down, grab hold of the bottom, and lift it all up together. Skrycon is struggling considerably more than the rest of you, but together you're all able to lift it up. So.
Oh. One thing. I could have probably used enlarge. And done even better.
Nice.
Actually, could Cal use enlarge to lift it onto the thing?
I mean, you could try. It would be you'd have to cast enlarge and then, make another athletics check, but.
Cal looks to the group. What do you say? Think Big Cal can do it?
I mean, it's worth a
I
try,
say-
I guess.
Give it a shot.
Enlarge.
Alrighty. You don't have to worry about enlarging your token or anything, since this isn't accurate to size to begin with.
Right. This isn't combat.
Right.
And then, would you say I get any like bonuses to athletics since I'm bigger?
Let's see. I don't think so, based off what the spell says. So, Yeah, the only bonus you really get is the +2 to melee damage.
Hmm.
So
34.
34.
Better than what I did last time.
Yeah,
So.
better than what you did last time. And I think that regardless of what the spell might do, I think I would factor a slight change in the DC just because you're enlarged. I don't know that you would get a bonus as much as being large would lower the DC, if you will.
Gotcha.
So at least that's how I would house rule it. I don't know what
Gotcha. It wouldn't be like,
Pathfinder's actual
you can make
rules would be.
you can make a lift check with a +2.
Right. So, but yeah, 34 is good. You enlarge while your 3 other companions are, holding up the bell to some degree. You go big and then just grab a hold of the bell entirely on your own. And then it's up to you what you do with the bell once you are holding on to it.
Cal is going to walk it over and, put the bell on the pole.
Yeah, try to lower it onto the pole.
Kind of
And
like that,
ring it.
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. You set the bell on the pole. Once you've put the bell on the pole, you can actually you actually notice that the center of the bell sits onto the pole perfectly. You then bang the bell with your fist
Give it a good
and
smack.
give it a solid ring.
Scorgon's gonna hit it with a sling bullet.
Sure. You give the bell a solid ring. When you do, the top of the bell flips open, and a series of small fireworks flies from the top and explodes in midair.
Huzzah.
These fucking spellcasters.
Wizards. I love them. You hear the wizard let out a cheer as he says, "Good, good. Very good. You would be surprised how many people just can't lift."
Sometimes you just go big or go home. I chose to go big.
I must admit, I was very intrigued by your solution to enlarge yourself. Very clever, very clever.
Thank you. I'm sure there was a convoluted way where all of us could work together to do it. But sometimes you just want to get things done now. Path of least resistance.
Path of least resistance. The rat speaks up and says, "Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, they did win your game." The wizard, in response, says, "Why, I'm going to send them to the enchantress. It was what I told them I would do, after all. Prepare yourselves, everyone." And before you have a chance to actually attempt to prepare yourself, you hear the snapping, him snap his fingers, and all of you are suddenly teleported out of the black room. Moments later, You find yourselves all the way over here. Let me put you all together and bring you all the way over here for ease. Whee!
Kona grumbles under her breath and starts scratching her left ear.
As you appear in this area, you find yourself in this corridor, and at first you just seem to be in, in this like corridor, until you hear the wizard speak up and say, "Ah, I always forget." With another snap of his fingers, a door materializes on this building here in front of you. And I will now mark this area as, I think I spelled that right. Whoops.
Too many E's.
Too many E's.
It's just enchantress. No enchanter, not enchanteress. There you go.
Got it. Yeah, that's
He's
I thought
enchantering.
enchanter-s, but so. But yes, like I said, a door materializes in front of you, and in this building here. So yeah, you obviously skipped, the far right line. You would have you would have done something over there and then materialized, right down here, and had to make your way up. But so but you did, you skipped that little bit, which is fine. So
Somehow I don't feel like this was better.
You hear a voice speak up and say, well, getting the aid of that old wizard to get yourself here. I must respect your cunningness. Please, enter. We have much to discuss.
Okay.
I will enter.
Scrogon will enter.
Walking on in.
Oh, get
Yep.
on in. Heh. Sure. You enter the the building. All around you, the room that you enter into, I would best describe as if you're inside as if you're inside an aquarium tank. Like as if you're inside the actual tank filled with water and stuff. There are fish swimming through the air. You can see a few, I don't want to say coral, but underwater like plant life.
Hmm.
That just seem to be like sprouting from the ground. There is no water, to be clear. But like all of the like the walls are like painted blue. And there are like creatures of the sea that are like moving around and living in the air, essentially. In the center of the room, you can see a large silver table. Only tall enough for you to sit at if you're, sitting on your butt, like on a cushion kind of thing. The more, pre-medieval style of table as opposed to like chairs and stuff. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can see the enchantress herself. She is dressed in what I would say probably the easiest way to describe would just be, imagine Princess Jasmine from the movie Aladdin, the cartoon version. Like, that's basically her outfit. So, she has long black hair. It's not tied up like Jasmine's. It's just kind of free-flowing. But her outfit is very akin to, the kind of thing that Princess Jasmine would wear. So, she smiles at you, waves to the table, and says, "Please, enter and sit. There is much that we must discuss before you deal with all of the wrongs that are going on here in Kasan."
Are you talking about the corruption outside?
The corruption outside, the corruption inside, and especially you. She points to the Saurus, who gives a loud gronk.
Huh?
Oh, what's your history with it?
Yes. Please, all of you, come, sit. I will explain. You see her walk over to the table, and then she kind of sits down, cross-legged on a cushion. You can also see that around the table are exactly enough cushions for your group. Like, there's literally 5 other cushions, so...
Is there a little cushion on the table for
Yes.
Tenpenny?
There is actually a little tiny cushion on the table that Tenpenny can sit on, yes. So.
Well, okay, I guess this isn't too bad.
I probably would have done without the well, do you think it would have been faster? Because like this is pretty deep into the city. And this city's pretty packed. I don't know if
it is pretty deep into the city. I can tell you that it's been about an hour and a half since you left the inn. So but the enchantress, who will introduce herself as Aziza, will say, if I had simply pointed you in the direction, you would never have been able to find me. Truthfully, each of the paths that you were meant to take was to, the word's not detect, but
Expose.
learn something about you. Still not the right word, but,
Expose something to us.
Discern.
Hmm?
Discern.
Yes, discern. Thank you. Each of the paths that you were meant to take was to discern something about each of you. Your your use of that old wizard tells me much more than taking the rest of the paths would have, however. You see, Erasmus is the name of that old wizard, and he doesn't just let anybody go. Regardless whether you had solved his game or not, if he had not thought you worthy to see me, he would not have allowed you to come here. If Erasmus, the oldest of us, is willing to she speaks very fancy, so I'm having issues with words. If he is willing to vouch for you, it's not the right term, but oh well, then I will then I will defer to his guidance.
Also, for the record, I knew that was his game all along.
Hmm?
I mean, really, this powerful wizard has us move a bell. Any idiot could do that, which means that he was deliberately giving us an easy test, which means he was deliberately trusting us. Though I can't figure out why.
Hmm? Perhaps you will understand in time. Still, let us speak less of your trials to get here, and instead let us speak of what you must do to save this realm. She waves her hand over the table, and the entire room goes dark. The table itself illuminates brilliantly, and little illusions rise from the table. The first of these illusions that she shows you is of the Saurus that is, with your group. She speaks up and says, to begin with, you will never be able to cleanse the darkness that is here in the Viridian Weald without aiding your companion here. This Saurus is not as he appears. With a wave of her hand, the Saurus illusion transforms into a sultan. She says, this Saurus is under a very powerful enchantment, one that I alone cannot break. If you were to speak with Farid, the apothecary, He can tell you how to create a potion that will dispel this curse that is on the Sultan. The man who currently sits as Sultan on the throne is a usurper and uses the Sultan's current image to prey on the people. He seeks a powerful item, an item from millennia past. Tell me, have you heard of the Ulnathan?
Yeah, that rings a bell. We've fought a full mummies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You fought a couple of them, so. Aziza will say, millennia past, 2 ages ago, as far back as the first age, the Ulnathan nearly had the whole world conquered. Desiring to expedite their captivation of the world, they reached into the plane known as the elemental chaos. And from there, they pulled native species and subdued them. Some of these, as you know, have come to be known as genies. Jinn, Marid, the other 2 that I can't remember immediately off my head. What were the other 2? I forget. Because there's four species of genie. That's right. Dao, Jinn, Efrit, and Marid are the 4 types of genies. The Dao is earth, Genie is water, Efriti are fire, and Marid are... No, excuse me. Marid are water. I think genies are Jinn, Genie, whatever. They're wind, yes. So yeah, she would say the Dao, Jinn, Efriti, and Marid. I am sure you are familiar with these names.
Yeah.
They... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Long ago, many of these genies were pulled into our world. They were subdued, but as you may know, when a genie enters our world, they lose much of their power. Because they are not capable of wielding the elements to the same extent as they are in the elemental chaos. Because of this, the Ulnathan found them to be a failed experiment. And one Ulnathan, a man by the name of Suleiman, was tasked with sealing the genies away. One of these genies, the most powerful, the king of them all, if you will, was the Marid Iblis. The Merid Abyss has been sealed away deep beneath our city ever since that day. The one who masquerades as Sultan seeks to find a way into the ancient underground and free the Merid Abyss. He believes that he can bind the Abyss to himself, and in doing so will be granted near limitless power. This, of course, will not come to pass, as he believes. But it does not matter what I or any others have said. He refuses to listen. Because of this, the only way to put a stop to this is to find the Abyss before him and prevent him from getting his hands on it. If we were simply to dispel the enchantment on the true Sultan, there would be chaos. We must stop the Vizier's plans before we free the Sultan. I'll note that as she's been talking, she's been going through different images of, the genies, of the Iblis himself, and so on. So there has been visual aid for your characters. I don't have that personally. Because I don't art. But there has been visual aid for your characters throughout all this. So. Let's see. Trying to think here. She says, Fareed can aid you with the dispelling potion, which we will need before you travel into the caves beneath Kazan. I fear, however, that even I do not know what lurks deep in the caves. There are things that exist that have existed for tens of thousands of years. I would not journey down there lightly.
Well, I'm pretty sure some of us have beat the crap out of things that have lived for tens of thousands of years before. So.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have yet to meet a creature that is resistant to bullet. Hell, the false Hydra wasn't resistant to my bullets.
Right.
And look, I'll keep you alive to the best of my ability, so.
Indeed.
And not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at keeping y'all alive.
That you are. And if it comes down to it, if I can't use a bullet, I'll just use a bigger bullet.
And at the end of the day, nothing can be immune to me.
I mean, that's true.
That's very true.
Indeed.
That exploit weakness, man.
And once you know what it is, I know what it is. And, well, I've recently come across some new recipes I can use. His like eyebrows bob up and down as he's saying that, and like he's tapping his fingers together.
Let's see. So Aziza will inform you, and I don't know the exact wording she would use, but she would, wave over her table and show you the location of the entrance to the caverns below Kazan. She would say she would say something along the lines of, the caverns can be found within the lost city. Something to that effect. If you were to look on the Irdrith Hollow map, if you look at the Viridian Weald, you will actually see, and here, let me do this for the stream as well. Bring you over to this map. But if you look at Kazan and you look at where the Viridian Weald is, you'll notice this curious empty space with no name. That is where the location to the caverns is. So, I've been wondering if anybody's been, wondering about this strange empty space,
That, well, Skarkon was gonna go to, before you had even, said anything about the Enchantress, Skarkon was gonna go and say, hey, I've rumors of a bandit cave just down south, and I was thinking about that
area.
big old clearing.
Yeah.
I mean, given the nature of the forest, I figured it would be something creepy, weird, or interesting, so...
Right. Let me see. I forgot to make Kasan accessible for all of you. So when I switched you all to Irdrith Hollow, Kasan disappeared. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. Anyway, we're back in Kasan now, hopefully.
Yes.
But yes, so
No, I think this is Manhattan.
So that empty space. There is a cave down there that leads down into the caves. Aziza, excuse me, will wave her hand over the table and display a small grove in a forest. Or in the forest, excuse me. And she will say, to begin the creation of your Dispel Potion, you will need to seek out the Dryad. She will be able to give unto you the first of 3 things that you will need to make the potion. Farid can tell you the rest. She says, the reason I am informing you of even this portion myself is because of the nature of what you will encounter when you seek the first ingredient. She waves her hand, and the dryad transforms from a tree-like creature into a human. And she says, "Once, long ago, the dryad was not as she is now. She was human. She, back in a time when women were viewed as tools, when women were forced to always wear veils, she had desired to be a healer. Her family, of course, forbade it, but she fled from Kasan and found a land where she could become a healer. She learned and she trained, and when she returned, she was scorned. Women could not be healers at that time, and no one trusted her. However, one day, a man came to her crying that his brother was badly injured in the forest. She thought it strange, but she could not simply ignore a man possibly in need. She traveled to meet with this brother, only to be led to a camp of bandits. She waves her hand again and says, "I will not speak of what happened that night. I am sure you can imagine for yourself. Before the brigands awoke in the morning, she managed to escape and fled into the forest. The brigands did, however, discover that she had escaped and made chase after her. Injured as she was, she cried out to the gods to help her. The gods chose... The gods choose to aid in their own ways. And so the god that answered chose to transform her into a tree, a dryad. She is bound now to that place and has been for many, many years.
And people wonder why I don't trust the gods.
Yeah, it seems like most gods are just complete dicks.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They really are. Aziza says, there is a way to restore her humanity. She must be taught love. For it was love that was taken from her.
So basically, teach her about the birds and the bees.
No, as
I can
when
show
she
her
says,
some love.
I was just gonna say, as soon as she says that, just Kona just puts an arm around Don and goes, "You're up, buddy."
Time to work the old Flawless charm. No.
Wait, you're gonna charm a tree?
Get a charm a tree, dude.
Watch for the splinters, my dude.
Don's gonna charm a tree.
Actually, well, then again, I don't trust the RNG of this dice roller.
So, but Aziza, Aziza will, respond after your group has had a chance to, chuckle amongst yourselves. And she will say, while I do not believe it is possible for you to fully save her, I do not believe any of you to be her soulmate. Before her soulmate is able to come to her and free her, she must be taught to trust and to love once again. Once you do this, she will give you a fruit. This magic fruit will be the first ingredient of your Dispel Potion.
Uh-oh. I did not hear most of that.
What's that? Oh, did I cut out or something?
It sounded like really glitchy for a second. Did anyone else hear that?
No.
Oh,
Is it-
well, just me then. Okay.
Interesting.
I've been following along.
Well, I'll say it again for Kat anyway. Aziza doesn't think that any of you are the tree's soulmate. But before the person that is meant to actually save her can, she must be taught to trust and love once again. So.
Okay, so you were reiterating. Okay.
Yeah, I was just reiterating what I said since it...
I just lost like the last sentence that you said.
Okay.
It's like you got to it and all I heard was
Weird. Most of it,
the
yeah.
usual artifacty sound.
Yeah. It probably just Discord doing Discord things, so.
Yeah, Discord.
At least it's not Skype. At least it's
Yeah.
not Skype.
That's true.
For real.
That's true. So yeah, that is the first thing you have to do. She says the remaining ingredients for the Dispel Potion are fairly mundane and should not be as difficult to obtain as this one. I would recommend speaking with Farid before you journey out. That way, perhaps you can collect it all at one time.
Anything that saves a step, I'm always down for.
Right. Aziza will continue by saying, as far as the corruption that is around us, what the Viridian Wield currently faces is a powerful corruption of a demon. This demonic spirit made its way here some years ago. It inserted itself deep within the forest and has been slowly spreading its corruption. The only thing keeping the Viridian Wield in its current state is the primal itself. I am sure that you have heard the rumors that the primal has been taking in corruption and purifying it within itself. These rumors are, for lack of better term, true. It is not as simple as simply taking in corruption, purifying, and releasing. But it is a similar... It is something similar to that. In order to purify the forest, you will have to force the demonic spirit into the primal itself. And then, unfortunately, you will then have to slay the primal.
Mm.
Do not worry, however. The primal itself will not be able to truly die. It will revive itself in time and continue to be guardian of the forest. But as long as the demon remains as a spirit, there is no way to remove it and its corruption permanently. Sorry, my sinuses are being a pain.
You're good.
But we gotta cut off the source.
Indeed. These are two tasks that I believe only you can do. And as such, I have sought... And as such, I have sought to inform you of these things.
Well, this might as well be the case.
Mm-hmm.
We're always stuck with these freaking bonds. Might as well get some other omen on us.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah. Yeah, might as well.
Mm-hmm. She will say, speaking of your bonds, those brands upon your arms, what I can tell you is that the Vizier is one of the groups that placed those brands upon you. Once we have dealt with him, I am certain that you will lose some of your brands, as you have the previous times. As for the remaining brands on your arms, one of those brands is held by the dark dragon that lives deep within atrophy. And the last is held by the chieftain of the storm giants in the Hregfell Mountains. Mm-hmm. I think that's all I can immediately think of for information for her to give you.
Okay.
If your characters have any questions, by all means.
I think Hal is understanding of most of it.
Okay?
So aside from going to the apothecary,
what would be our next most obvious destination?
I mean, probably the caves.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. If you are asking that, Aziza would say that the most pressing thing for her, since it is, the city she lives in, would be securing stopping the vizier. So getting the dispel potion, and then after that ensuring that the Abyss cannot be grabbed by the vizier. So
Right.
I mean, if this stuff is all layered together, peeling off a layer seems like a good idea.
right. Definitely. Aziza will tell you if you were to desire attempting to just challenge the vizier, she will warn that he is an exceedingly powerful warlock. So
Of course.
so he's
working with a demon lord, so
yeah. She would mention that, he has been seeking, his power for longer than she has even been alive. So, he is a very powerful warlock. Now, she will note that he is not as powerful as Erasmus. Unfortunately, there is this sort of code between all of the wizards there that you saw in that hallway. All of them are exceedingly powerful, but they're also all bound to this sort of code of we're not allowed to directly influence anything because they are exceedingly powerful, Any one of them could conquer the world, So...
Well, if you can't use your magic for good, why you have your... I mean, and that is in character for Scargon. He is a humanitarian.
Right. Aziza would say, it is not that I do not use my power for good. There are many things that I do currently use my magic for to aid this land. I was the one who enchanted some of the scales of Irdrith that she may watch over her hollow. And there are, let us say, extra planar threats that Kassan is not even aware of, because I protect this city from them. I'm just, to put it simply, we do not interfere with the affairs of mortals specifically.
Okay. I've seen some pretty nasty shit out there. That could really not have been justified.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
So, I'm gonna do what even the gods won't do.
Yeah, she says something along the lines of, unfortunately, there are always bigger threats, and that they can't, that they might be exceedingly powerful, but if they were to begin to divide their power to deal with the lesser threats, they wouldn't be able to deal with the bigger threats, you know? So, the age-old adage of, I'm good, but I don't, help on the small scale because of the big picture, kind of viewpoint. So, whether that's right or not, that's a whole nother issue. But that is how, Aziza and Erasmus and the other wizards all view. So, or at least all of the wizards that were in that hallway. So,
Skrarkon dislikes inaction.
right. Oh yes, and I can completely see that, So, like, I can agree with that. It's just, obviously the character, Yep. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, is there, like I said, is there anything else that your group...
So anything we expect on a journey there?
Well, I mean,
Probably bandits.
Are you talking the caverns, or are you talking, like, to the Dryad and back?
Yeah, just about the caverns.
Aziza would say that there's... Well, I guess the answer's kind of the same either way. Traveling through the forest itself, you're likely to just encounter the, things that are around. The native creatures and things like that. It's the caverns that she can't really tell you anything about. Even she doesn't know what's down there. So,
on the way there, we're probably gonna encounter some bandits.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
The bandits I have a very good itching to deal with.
If your group were to ask, Aziza could tell you where the bandit camp itself is. If you want to deal with the bandits too, so she doesn't see it as necessary for solving the current crisis.
It may not delve with. It may not be pertinent to the crisis at hand with her.
Right.
But it's still a crisis of the town.
Right.
So
yeah, she has no problems with you doing it. Again, her viewpoint is just like, she's looking at the Vizier as the current, like, thing that needs to be dealt with, and she's not powerful enough on her own to, fight against the Vizier. So.
Has she tried using a gun?
I mean, she hasn't, but
Try going up to him with like a 9mm and just pop, pop, pop. A bullet is faster than any ward, than any warding spell.
Actually, technically, you could use stuff like shield against gun, but either way.
I mean, yes, but you'd have to have several layers of ward or shield because.
Right.
Have you seen what a bullet can do to ballistic flesh?
Yeah.
It goes straight through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we were going realistically, that is what would happen. Of course, this is Pathfinder. So there's HP.
They have to balance the gun around the sword.
Right. There's HP.
Otherwise, everyone would be a gunslinger instead of everything else.
Well, not even, because a moderately swung warhammer can produce as much energy as a 9mm bolt.
Right.
So, not even. It's just you have to balance the speed of which you can shoot.
Right.
With the speed of the attacks. The attacks is just to make the game kind of fun, because, one-shotting opponents isn't fun most of the time.
Right.
Depending on the game you're playing.
Unless you're playing, like, Warhammer 40K.
Or hack and slash games.
Hack and slash games. Yeah. Muso games, as I've heard them called.
Yeah.
Warriors games.
The Vermintide and Darktide.
Yeah.
I remember playing an old Ghost Rider hack and slash game. You got to kill clowns, and I loved it.
No.
Because I hate clowns.
The only real hack and slash like that I've played is Hyrule Warriors. I've wanted to play others, but I just haven't had money for, to buy games.
Devil May Cry is a fun one.
Or a console, So, but I definitely want to get like Fire Emblem Warriors and stuff like that. So, but that's on a side note.
So, I say we go to the apothecary first. Then we on the way, go to the bandit camp. Then get to the caves, do that, and then finish up with the what's it called? Dryad.
Right. Well, you need the dispel potion before you go into the caves.
Oh.
So you Aziza would make note, that you will want the dispel potion before going into the cave. So, which might sound odd because the dispel potion is for Thesaurus, but just trust her on that one. So, but yeah, so
okay.
So the way that the best route would probably be to deal with the bandits, go to the Dryad, come back, get the potion, and then head to the cave. So.
Okay.
So, alrighty.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds like a plan. And this also seems like the perfect place to end off at, since you have a plan and know where you're going next week. So,
Yes.
I will go ahead and write down your plan for you, just so that none of us, not even me, forget.
Yep.
Um,
Plan is to go around places and shoot bad guys in the head.
Bandit Camp, Dryad, get potion, Kasan Caverns. So, alrighty. I'm definitely excited for the Bandit Camp.
Yeah.
Because
I'm ready to make some money.
the Bandit Camp is interesting. Oh yes. But speaking of, you did roll earlier for that, and we
Was it
never
20?
did anything with that.
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude and was like, hey, DM.
Right. I would not have had issue, with you being like, hey, wait, before we go on the plot, let's, deal with the thing that we did. But it's, regardless, it's fine. Let me just, let's see. That was a
20. It was a 19
20.
plus 1.
Right. 19 plus 1 for 20. Okay. So
So I think, is it society checks or is it crafting checks?
well, we picked society because you weren't crafting to sell.
Yeah, it was just regular, just
going around helping
people
people out, things like that.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. So
yeah.
20 and
well, I can tell you that you spent 4 days kind of helping people out. All of the jobs kind of only gave you a little bit of money.
every little bit helps.
But once you pool what you got together, it's about 2 gold. So, but you earned a couple of silver here, a couple of silver there, kind of thing.
Gotcha. But yeah, this bandit job is where hopefully Cal will rake in the good money.
Big monies, yes.
Because he wants
we will
that.
have to.
He wants that.
Scavenge everything.
Oh yeah, he plans to
sell it all.
Sell it all.
And he might. And Cal would actually like to also. Is there anything in this? Is there anything weapon-wise that anyone's not using that doesn't want? Of the +1 striking weapons.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, sell anything.
Yeah. I think just
'Cause-
about I don't think any of these +1 striking weapons that are in the party stores are even being used, so
Can Cal sell those?
I mean, I don't see why not. So
I mean, it's
yeah. No.
3, 4,
No.
5, 6.
6 with 100, and then there's the one that's 250.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're only probably gonna give you about half of the actual worth.
Yes, but it's 50 times 6, which is 300.
Yeah.
And then half of 250 is 125.
125. Yeah.
So that's 425
Right.
in
I
total.
mean, that's what I was going to tell you is that it would be, 425 that you would get. I mean, that's, gold. So that's 425 gold. I'm just saying, like, that's what you would get is you'd get.
I'd be
half.
fine with that as long as the party's fine with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have a character. It's just me saying yeah makes no difference. But
Yeah.
despite that, I say yeah.
Okay.
So
Cal will sell these.
okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna go ahead and delete these.
And it's 50 gold per, right?
For the 100 and then 125 for the mace.
Right. It's 425 gold altogether. So if you want, whether you want to divide that up, or if you just want to put 425 in the party stores, that's up to you. So.
Yeah.
But yes, it does come out to 450 altogether.
425.
425, excuse me. Yes.
So that's 42
Yeah, that'd be 42 platinum and 5 gold. If you divide it into the smallest versions.
Yeah. So if Cal took the 425 plus his own storage of gold, it's 792. So 208, and he'd have enough to get the next tier up of rune, the striking rune.
Nice.
Yeah, get another extra damage die.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't forget.
There's also levels.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Right. Which oh yeah, that's a good thing to check.
Yeah, don't forget that before you can get a greater striking rune, you have to upgrade it to a +2 weapon. You have to get that +2 rune first.
That I did not take into account.
Yeah. Yep. Greater striking runes can only be applied to +2 or higher weapons. And then the major striking, or whatever the next tier is, can only be applied to +3 or higher weapons.
Okay, so the weapon potency +2, I would need a total of 900 gold, and it's at level 10.
Yeah.
So next level.
So, starting around next level, you'll be able to look into, getting your +2. Yeah, I think greater striking is like level 12 still, so.
Yeah, it is. I just looked and was like, well, as long as I can save up another 1,000 in between level 10 and 12.
Yeah. I mean, according to Pathfinder, that's the way that money is supposed to be distributed. Is that by the time you're level 12, you should have enough to get that greater striking rune. So, hopefully if I'm doing things right, you'll have enough. I know that...
Now come on, DM, don't be stingy.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, that it can be a little difficult sometimes to figure out...
Sometimes. But,
where to give out money
with plot
and
and all that. But
yeah. So
you just gotta weave some money making into the plot.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, hey, if you clear out these bandits, you'll not only get a reward, you'll not only get all of Zayd's stuff, but if you give that back to him, he did say he was going to give you 2,000 gold as a reward.
Yes.
So
yes.
That is big monies that's coming, so
Yep,
That's
and I'm
500
going to
gold
split
per
that with
person.
Kona.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50 platinum.
Yes, that is.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Kona gets 1,000 gold, and I get 1,000 gold.
Hmm.
Aha, ha, ha.
Well, she and I were the ones there, so he doesn't know about the other guys.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
Yeah, I wouldn't. Cal wouldn't do that to the
Cal
party.
wouldn't do that. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I mean, you know, once you deal with the bandits, you'll have plenty of money.
Yeah, that's 500 gold for the. That's 500 gold for each of us.
Right. I'm sure the Sultan, you know, your Saurus there will properly reward you when his city is safe and he's back in being the Sultan again.
I don't know. I kind of like him being a cute little dinosaur. Plus, it's really easy to feed him.
It's really easy to feed him. That, I mean, also, but though that said, while he is a Saurus, and while he has Saural tendencies, he is mentally human. So,
how would he take it if Cal is just standing there and just starts petting him on the head?
I mean, I think the Saural tendencies would kick in, and he would enjoy it and things.
I don't know.
Also, like, while he's a Saurus, you know, while you throw meat at his face and he's probably gonna jump, on it immediately and things. There's also still that part of him that's in, the back of his head going like, yeah, but I'm like human and,
So Cal would probably, he'd at least cook the meat.
Right. Yeah.
To satisfy both the sorrel part and the human part.
Right. And I imagine it's got to be like frustrating and possibly even mentally taxing to be stuck in this form as well,
Probably.
So that's why he was so depressed at first. But then you bought him, and that made him happy because hey, somebody's paying attention to me. Maybe I can do something. And then the Enchantress was like, "Hey, I'll help you out."
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, while technically not revealed to your party, the first thing that Aziza did was she went to your Saurus and told, the Sultan, hey, I found somebody that's going to help you, So
Sweet.
That's why he was there when you went to the Magic Emporium, because she had talked to the Sultan and said, go to the Emporium at this time. She had gone to the Emporium and said, hey, expect these guys to show up at this time, So everybody knew what was going on.
She just made a whole lot more extra work for herself for fucking what? Ooh, spooky mysterious.
Yep, to be mysterious.
I'm loving how ham-fisted it is, though. It's such a delight.
Yes. Oh yes, she absolutely put in more work than she needed to, and definitely made it harder on herself. But in her opinion, that was the better choice. So she wanted to ensure that you were, in fact, good people and would be the ones that would do the things, She was pretty sure, but she wanted to be sure, not just pretty sure. And when Erasmus was like, yeah, look, it's a bell, put it on the pole, you win. She goes, all right, we're good, If Erasmus trusts you, then she won't even question. So The question, though, is why did Erasmus trust you?
Because he is secretly Robin Williams in disguise.
Who knows? Anyway, I guess it's a good point to end the podcast off at. So I hope all of you watching did enjoy. If you're not here watching live at Serene Inc. at twitch.tv/Serene Inc. Say that properly. Then feel free to come on out and watch it live. Join in the fun. You can chat in the chat, and we do, at least I do, keep an eye on the chat. And I do respond. I just don't do it verbally. Always a delight, especially to see people chatting, helping us with Pathfinder, because we're still figuring it out.
Yes.
The joys of freaking deciding at level 8, let's switch to Pathfinder. We don't get all this stuff.
How do I turn the safety off of my weapon?
Right.
I don't regret switching over.
No, I don't. I don't regret.
I don't mind it. I don't mind at all. Yeah, though I still do enjoy 5e.
Yes.
Well, yes, but
If we had like 2 campaigns,
Right.
because I do want to eventually revisit the holiday ones.
Right. Yeah,
If possible.
and
I would like to do another holiday one. I just got to figure out what holiday and
My birthday's
what
coming up.
to run. So.
Yeah, we could do a Valentine's Day one.
That's true. I'd have to think about that one. So I was lucky enough that I was able to refine that Halloween campaign because I was stressing because I knew what happened in that campaign. I just could not remember the exact specifics. So I was stressing like, I know this campaign, but I just don't remember, and like I have a map, and I'm like trying to fill it in, and I just can't figure things out. I'm going, this is not going to be anywhere near as good or as fun as the original if I could have found it. And then literally like the week right before, I happened to find it on my old hard drive. I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yay!
The problem is that's the only holiday I've ever run a holiday campaign for. And so it's the only holiday campaign I've ever prepared. And so when it's like, yeah, well, we can do one for Christmas, and I was like, yeah, I've got a campaign all made up for that. I can, do that. And then I'm like trying to I know exactly what needed to happen in the story. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But it would have been a really fun campaign full of time travel. So
I have 2 thoughts on all this.
okay.
One, the Halloween game was actually like really tight and engaging, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Right.
2,
yes,
I don't think I'll ever be entirely comfortable with Pathfinder 2, no matter how long I play it. Like, there's always that rigidity feeling to it.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's not bad. It's not like it's a bad game. Like I enjoy playing the game. Like
Right.
it wouldn't be my preference per se, but I'm totally cool with it. Like,
Right.
It is a good game.
Oh yeah. No, I can definitely agree.
Several months ago, I would not have probably said that.
Yeah.
I personally kind of want to start jumping off the deep end of TTRPGs. I have a set been working on for a while, and I really need to start actually putting it on paper.
Right.
And what a better time to do that than running a multiple engine fucking mess of a game.
Right.
Like using Lancer and game with factions that's powered game engine. But I'd use those two, and it'd be a sci-fi
Right.
punk sort of deal.
Cyberpunk kind of thing, yeah. I could see that. That'd be interesting. Well, in either case, kind of got sidetracked.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's not any one person's fault for sure, because we got, you know, I was doing the outro and when ended up on the whole holiday campaign tangent. But yeah, no, we it's definitely something, you know, we can talk about in either general chat or Sunday chat or really anywhere on the Discord. So, but with that said, though, we do have a Discord, or rather, I have a Discord. I don't know if everybody is in that Discord, but I have a Discord. So, you know, come on out, hang out with us and chat with us and whatnot. And also there's Patreon, does help us out a lot. You know, help support, you know, the channel, the stream, you know, getting art. You know, if I could make enough via the Patreon to get art of everybody and everything, I would. You know, instead of just having my poor quality arts and, you know, these squares everywhere. So, but yeah. Anyway, with that, I guess we'll see you all next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.
See you
Like,
later.
comment,
Don't
Like,
forget to
comment.
spay and neuter your pets.
like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm.
Indeed.
Push them buttons.
Push all the
Push all the
buttons.
Just don't break your keyboard when you punch everything.
Smash the like button.
I know a YouTuber that used to say, you know, to take your phone, your tablet, whatever it is, and just slam your head into the like button. Don't actually do that. That would hurt. And you'd probably break your device. But
Yeah, don't do that.
it is funny to think about. So, see you later.
Yeah. See you guys next week.